Let's get started real quick. I'm going to have Blake and Angel introduce themselves. If you guys can do it 30 seconds, 1 minute max, who you guys are, what you guys do for work, and just go for it. Quick little bio, and then we'll get going. Blake, we'll start with Angel, ladies first, and then we'll go Blake.
Hi, everybody. I'm Angel B. I'm a Brazilian artist. I'm a singer. I'm a hip-hop dancer. And I'm here in LA in the industry, living my dreams and working hard in these crazy times. And yes.
Yeah, Angel's being very humble. She's a very humble person, but she's danced with a lot of hip-hop artists. All of you guys know she's a dope singer. She's kicking ass in LA, and so it is an honor, and I'm so grateful to have you on here, Angel. It's awesome. And then let's go, Blake.
So I'm Blake. I'm a registered nurse in the state of Ohio. I'm also a gay conservative. Oh my gosh, yeah, unicorn. And I actually had Jordan on the podcast, Primetime Patriots. I think also Ross the Boss was on there with Kaylee a couple weeks ago. We just kind of started a movement and kind of the diversity of the conservative platforms and just using our voice to empower other like-minded conservatives out there. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, no, I had such a good time doing that podcast with you, bro. It was fun, and what you guys are doing over there is awesome. So, all right, well, let's first get into some just quick recap of I'm going to talk about real quick for about 2 minutes what is going on, the update of the election, because it's something that we hit every single night. We got to stay on target. And here's some updates. Obviously, Arizona is about 70% done on their forensic audit. And I'm not sure, Blake and Angel, if you guys know what is going on with the election, but basically a lot of these states that are saying, hey, we think there is a lot of fraud here, and we actually think that Donald Trump won these states, they're just doing an audit. And the states, I mean, they are coming together. They passed the legislation to make this thing happen, and they're doing a forensic audit. Well, Anthony Sabatini just tweeted out, what did he say? He said that, hold on, I need to
get ready. He said I think he said it would shock the world. Get ready.
It's going to be at Anthony Sabatini. I should have had this set up and ready to go, which my apologies.
One of my best friends is working in the Arizona audit.
Is he really?
Yes, she is. She's working in the audit. She's actually doing different, she does a couple of the different shifts.
Is she allowed to say anything yet to anybody? And what do you know?
She signed a
NDA.
But she does work with code monkeys and all that stuff. But what I can tell you without like disclosing information is what you will see is everything that you guys all thought and knew. That's all I'm going to disclose to you. If you had any information that you thought was true, it is true. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Well, the funny thing is why they're not talking about this, right? Because I had to tell my parents because they having the same fear in Brazil. Just a quick update. We have an ex-president that is in a communist party. He was in the power for 14 years. We got a way to put him in jail, find out so much shit. And then because the Supreme Court is all people that he put in, they really corrupted. Now they say he's innocent and he's running for presidency in next year. I was like,
really?
That's a slap in everybody's face. Doesn't matter what party. Like, he's a criminal. And he's running for presidency. And people already know because it's going to be the president that is now against him. And they are already concerning about elections because we have the electronic one that was proved already before that been some shit going on like it happened here. And yeah.
I mean,
people are not talking about here. I'm like, why? Doesn't matter which side you are. Like, I just don't like to be a hypocrite. If you like Biden, if the other side stole the election, like, we want to know the truth. Like,
yes, common sense.
Common sense. Like, it's because it's the other side, doesn't matter because it benefits you. It's what you like, so it's fine.
Here's the thing about this Arizona audit and all the audits. No matter what they prove, the media will do everything in its power to make it not true. So I don't think people understand that. Guys, we already have seen so much truth. We have seen so much facts. We've seen so much evidence. And what is being done? Nothing, because the power is in our media. Yeah. So no matter if they come and show the receipts, we have receipts. We've shown receipts. These emails of Fauci's are receipts. And what's happening to this man?
Yeah, well, I will say though, we're gonna get into Fauci. I don't want to get.
Yeah, I think that this audit that they're doing right now will be the one opportunity that conservatives had to get their ass on the same page about how they feel about this whole thing. And it'll wake up the other 30% of Republicans that are going, I don't think there was that much fraud. And I think it's going to wake up 25 to 40% of the Democrats. 25% more likely. And then the other 75% of the Democrats that are left, I think it's going to be a battle. But as all these other states start to domino as it happens, I think that there's going to be a slow wave. And it's not going to end well. It doesn't matter if Trump gets back in office or not. There's a backlash coming from the conservative side of the world that should be coming, that is earned and has been deserved, because you told us to shut our mouth and stay home and be locked down. And there's no reason to suspect any election fraud, even though you bitched about election fraud 4 years ago for 3 damn years in a row. So there's going to be conservative backlash that is going to be incredibly exciting for all of us who are conservative, because we're finally going to be able to say shit again. But what I fear the most is the amount of backlash that's going to happen, because the pendulum has been pushed really hard in this one direction, and it's going to come back with fury. And I guarantee you, there is going to be more racist people then than there was before this entire thing. Because I promise you this last 2 years has not made people less racist as a whole already. This is just going to amplify problems. Hopefully conservatives can have amazing character when we get to say, I told you so, and do it without crushing everybody afterwards.
So sorry to interrupt, Jordan, but question. So what I've been really thinking about lately is, Donald Trump, and clearly people weren't listening to his message of what he was resonating these last 4 years, truly, because, and people are probably going to give me hate and slack for this, but I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I almost hope that he doesn't come back, because I've seen more patriotic, stiff, more fight from the conservative party than I have ever seen before. And it wasn't because Donald Trump is one man. I love the man just as much as the rest of you guys. He's a great man and a great leader. But at the same time, our backs are against the wall, and now we're fighting. We're realizing how important it is to fight for our freedoms. We're realizing how important it is to preserve our First and Second Amendment and all of these rights. And we're really, 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 truly learning about ourselves. And so I don't want us to go back to comfort, because when we're comfortable, we're not growing. We're not getting out of that, echo chamber. We're not challenging ourselves. And Donald Trump, I listened because I understand this, but he challenged us to fight. And we were so comfortable when we thought Donald Trump was forever, because guess what? He's not going to be forever. There's going to be a time when Donald Trump is no longer on this planet. But that American patriotic freedom and that fighting spirit will be alive forever. And that's what he talked about. So
I'm not going to lie. I want to give the crown back to him and be like, bro, keep going for 3 years and knock these suckers around. We'll get DeSantis and Candace and some other folks to take over. Me and Jordan, who the hell knows. But we'll do something. But we need Trumpy to just give us some more than deals. Well, Blake, I want them peace deals.
Blake, I love what you said, because I agree with you, like up to 80% of it. And which I think we really all agree at the end of the day. It's like if Trump Papa Daddy gets back in office, we're all gonna be freaking happy, because we're all like, well, I don't know where Angel stands when it comes to Trump. But I would love to get.
I'm not in love with him.
But let me ask you this:
it's
do you
not
like
even
Trump?
about that for me, because I think the corruption is so big. Even if we see there's frauds, I don't think they will let him go back. But every time that I think about it, it's like, how are we going to make people come together? Because if not, this war is going to continue. Like, we just going to win. It's not like Trump side win, Biden side win. The people just going to win when everybody is awake. And seeing the truth, so we can come together and see that my enemy is not my friend that think a little different than me. Like, our enemies, it's some powerful people.
Totally. Well, I think we're gonna get to that. So really quick, I want to backtrack just a little bit. One, to Blake's point, and then I want to get back to the election, and then we're gonna get into everything that we're gonna talk about. Blake, I love what you said because it's so true. The fact that Trump lost, it caused all of us to have this like, oh my God, what is happening in the country?
Right.
Like we didn't realize. I mean, we knew that critical race theory was a thing, but now we really do. We knew that there was problems at the border. Now we really do. We knew that our kids were being forced to mask, but we didn't we didn't realize how much power the people and the parents, we never would have gotten involved locally at the point now if Trump would have still been in office. And so I think we've had that wake-up call. The fact now, if Trump actually comes back in office, I don't think that you would see you're fine, Angel. I don't think you would see the foot come off the pedal. We would probably double down. And that is the one thing where I think if Trump gets back in office, it's going to be an all-out, we're going all in. But to get back to the election point, this is what Anthony Sabatini said. He said the result of the Arizona audit is going to be earth-shattering. And every report that I'm seeing and hearing is falling that way. So to follow up with the election,
the numbers are even crazier than even some of the things that they're reporting. It's scary, and it's not even just this past election. That's the even scarier thing.
Yeah. Arizona is going to be earth-shattering. And that's what a lot of people are seeing. That's what a lot of people are saying. And we have already seen some of the reports. 17% of the ballots are just missing. Like, hello, when you have 17% you open up a box, there's 500 ballots, and it's like, okay, there's a piece of paper that says there's 500 voters supposed to be in this box. They count the ballots, and 17% of the ballots are just not even there. Houston or Maricopa, you got a problem. So like this is what we're seeing going on in Arizona. Well, here's a quick update. Pennsylvania delegators showed up to Arizona yesterday to get a full-on tour of what is going on in Arizona and how to process and do this forensic audit. Because what they are saying is we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Maricopa's doing it. They're crushing it. We're going to take this Pennsylvania. It's going to happen. Word on the street today, Vernon Jones and Joe Beach, I believe his name, he's a senator in Georgia. They just announced that they are going to be going to Arizona next week because they are going to be doing the forensic audit in Georgia. Guys, it is going – what is going to happen when Arizona falls? And then, Georgia's a walk in the park. I mean, Georgia – we already know Georgia is completely we've watched the videos literally of what happened. What's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting because it's not a coincidence, and we've said this a couple times, it's not a coincidence that Trump is starting up his rallies in July right when these audits start finishing. It's just going to like, can you imagine? He is going to force the media, which the media is like dying for Trump to come back. They're like, our ratings suck. We're CNN and we can't get 1 million viewers on any of our shows because no one cares about us anymore. They're dying for Trump to come back. So that's a quick up. Go ahead.
We all are.
Yeah.
At this point, what do you trust more, Fauci or election integrity or a fart when you have diarrhea? Like what do you trust more?
It's true, man. It's bad.
I'll be trusting God, right?
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. It's all looking very interesting. So, all right. Well, that's the update on the elections. Every single night, I'm giving a quick update on the election. We got to stay on target because that honestly is the priority. But I've said this on the podcast this past Tuesday, and this is what we're going to get into. There's two things that we have to get to the bottom of. Number one, what happened on November 3rd, 2020. And number two, where the heck this coronavirus came from. Because people say it comes from a bat. People said that, it just happened randomly.
No.
But no, we need to know where this mother came from.
We know.
And and I think this week, Christmas came early for all of us. because Fauci, as a lot of you guys may know, I mean, I love the comments right now. Nicole's saying Fauci needs to be locked up. I mean, I agree. Fauci for prison. Bye, Felicia.
Fauci for prison, for sure.
Fauci for prison. Fauci had 3,200 emails released. And, I mean, you guys want to, I mean, I'll just give a couple of them and then we can go into open discussion. Feel free to interject at any time, all three of you guys, please. I mean, for the entire year, Fauci told us mask, you know, we have to be masked up, asymptomatic, you know, people asymptomatic. That's what put the fear in. I mean, we heard all the things that Fauci
Well,
said.
so let me make this really micro for a second for everybody.
it.
So because it's happened to everybody, we kind of have forgotten the gravity of it because we all kind of had to go through it. So we're not really realizing how big of a deal it was. But imagine your doctor told you to stay home for 15 months and to not go hug your family and your friends, to not go out to eat, to not be within 6 feet of other people, to put a mask on your face, and for your children to put a mask on their face at their own dinner table in between bites. Imagine your doctor told you to do that for 15 months and you find out that your doctor heard that none of that made a difference and you knew it and everybody was trying to tell you it the whole time, but you and your family suffered the psychological trauma to the nth degree that Fauci knowingly told your family to do for some nefarious reasons. I don't even want to get into why he did it or how it was beneficial. Either way, 15 months, suicides went up, alcoholism went up, opiate overdoses went up, child abuse went up, divorces went up. All of it has gone up. And
Depression. I mean,
yeah, and he is to blame for this, for hundreds of millions of Americans and every other country that took our lead when it came to our health measures. What an elaborate crime of the century that we are somehow letting this guy get off with.
Yeah, I completely agree. So let's
yeah,
get
I
in the
was
email.
reading the
Go ahead,
emails
Angela.
because at first the use of the mask was because if you were asymptomatic, you could spread the disease too correctly, and that's why we all were like, okay, let's protect it. But that was a BS.
Right, that was new since 2020.
Yeah,
that idea.
Like who is just really sick? Because I got to visit my family last year. I couldn't stay with my parents. I was like 1 week waiting, just saying hi from far, because I didn't know. So I had to do the test, and then I couldn't hug them. It was the weirdest shit ever.
Well, February 4th, he emailed somebody else and said that most transmissions are occurring from someone who is symptomatic, not asymptomatic. I mean,
asymptomatic studies have come out. So this is my cup of tea. I'm healthcare. I know how.
Oh yeah, you're a nurse, bro. Yes,
dude, this is my cup of tea. So he came on there on MSNBC, went to his little safe haven. It's like, Republicans don't understand that science is always changing. Yes, but masks don't. Viruses don't change. You know that this was so small that it could pass through a surgical mask. You knew that from the beginning. Masks didn't change. The virus's shape didn't change. You knew. You also knew the asymptomatic spread was not likely. You also knew what you were doing. So you can't just sit here, because Fauci does not understand the difference between science and political science. That's his problem. And he can't differentiate the two. And he's listening to people, donors, big pharma, people who are making money. That's what he's making money of them. And, you know, he got his book canceled. You know, he can't even pre-sale his book because we all know Dr. Fauci lied. The fact that, but here's the thing, liberals will take his word and say Republicans are just losing their mind because they don't believe in the change of science.
Conspiracy theorists.
That if Fauci went on their dinner table in the middle of dinner, got up on the table and shit on the table and said, that's actually beans, and told him to eat it, they would eat it because they're so brainwashed, because they think that the government cares about them, and they think big pharma is out for their benefit, like to benefit their health.
I love you said that. Me and Ross talked about this today on the podcast. We were like, can you imagine like being the person that's like, you've protested for your entire life about how bad the government is in every single way. You have literally blasted, you know, every single institution in our country, including that our country is racist. But then COVID happens and Big Pharma gets involved and our government's like, hey, A, B, C, and D, Big Pharma has the best interest in you, even though Big Pharma makes their money on you being sick. Literally. They don't make money unless you're sick. They want you sick because if you're not sick, you go out of business. And then it's like Big Pharma gets involved and then Joe Biden and Fauci and even Trump, it comes out and says, hey, go do this. Hey, go lock down. Hey, if you live in Los Angeles and your neighbors have more than 3 people at their house, you report them and we're going to turn off their electricity. And people are just like, yes.
Jordan,
that's about control. They not fucking worry about nobody, caring about nobody. Because in any moment, I see those people talking about vitamins and how we should strengthen our immune system, first of all. Like, yes. I understand people that got scared. I have close people that die with COVID. So the family, the daughter, the wife, they scared. Like, and you're not going to tell them it's fine for them to take the mask that they won't. Because they had a bad experience. So it's all about each one's experience. Like, it's not everybody gonna see this the same way if you didn't really lose someone close.
I agree. And Maria Mitchell just put out a question. Fauci's email, the asymptomatic spread, is this a thing to be worried about or not?
So from a non-medical professional answer, which all of these answers technically, CIA who put that bot in here to ask that question, all of these actually will be non-medical answers that you cannot take that was a joke. But so the real answer is yes, generally speaking, asymptomatic people with respiratory infections are not a threat to other people. That's traditionally known throughout the medical world. Michael Yeadon, the former vice president of Pfizer, one of the manufacturers of the vaccination, literally said the sentence I just said. I put it on a video on my Instagram recently. He said that asymptomatic spread from people and that have no symptoms and being a respiratory threat to other people while you have no symptoms was brand new in 2021 or 2020. That was the first time that kind of ideology had come along.
Yeah, but
I go to a gym since February when I got back. We don't use masks. The only we don't use. I've been with a bunch of people working out since February. Last week I did a test because I had a wedding to go, and it was negative. I didn't get sick because I'm taking care of my health. I'm eating right, taking my vitamins.
But you don't want to, Angel, you don't want to, if you get vaccinated, you get a free donut and you get a cheeseburger for free.
Oh, we can get some flights. Maybe we can get some flights.
What I'm gonna warn all of you about the next couple months, so maybe you are going to see, now that we're all opening up and taking our masks off, you are going to see people get sick. You're common cold. You are going to get sick. I'm telling you. When I worked in a pediatric ER, my first year in the pediatric ER, I was sick as a dog because I was exposed to so much. And then after that, I was good because I was exposed to viruses. I was exposed to bacteria that I wasn't normally exposed to in the community. And then guess what? You're going to all experience that. You might get longer than normal coughs. You might get longer than normal colds because your body has literally been secluded from building natural immunity to things that you would have encountered in public. Facts. That is truth. Anyone who tells you differently is lying. People are like, that's not true. It is true. I'm telling you.
Unless you're in Florida, because we've been open, baby.
Right?
Besides you who are like.
I know, I'm joking. I'm completely joking. Yeah. No, but I mean, that's why I left California. I literally left California because when they went on lockdown number 3, they closed down the golf courses, the hiking, the trails, the hike, the beaches. I'm just like, they literally want us locked down in our house and we can't do anything. That's when I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm moving to Florida. I want DeSantis, and I got DeSantis.
I think this would all be common sense. I love Japan because they're so respectful. If you have a flu, then the person using mask, that person, so it doesn't spread. How would it be with this virus and not freaking everybody out?
Yeah. It's weird how they had an answer for everything. So it's okay to not know. We're cool to not know about something. I think that's a lot of people don't understand that. It's okay to say, I don't know. but they always had an answer for everything. Did you guys notice that or pick up? It was never, we're not sure. This, you know, they kept saying this is a novel COVID-19 virus, but they sure did have a playbook of exactly what to tell you. They sure did have every answer
Oh
for
yeah, because all this was planned, and nobody can take that off my head. This whole shit was planned, not just people in here, but in China and everywhere, because they tried to stabilize governments around the world. Is what they're doing.
And
right?
Trump said this. Trump said this a year ago. He said it on a speech. You could pull it up on even freaking YouTube, where he says, "I've seen the evidence. Yes, the evidence says it came from the Wuhan lab of virology. This is where it came from. This is why he called it the China virus for the entire time he was in office." And he kept saying it over and over and over and over again. And the reason why is because he wanted to get it in our heads that we would never forget that this virus came from China. It didn't come from a bat. It didn't come from a bowl of soup. It didn't come from some animal like this. And this is what the emails are saying. Like, I mean, emails, number January 31st, 2020, Fauci gets an email. A doctor says this virus looks engineered. February 22nd, Dr. Michael Jacobs emails Fauci and says, "We fear this looks like this virus was released from the lab in Wuhan." These are emails that Fauci received in January and February and March.
Okay,
And
I have a question.
go ahead.
Like, I'm gonna poke. Okay, but Trump say to take the vaccination.
Oh, 100%.
What do you think about that?
I know. I've been pushing. This is the
Yes,
one.
it's our least favorite thing about Trump ever.
I made
Yeah, I have no
video.
problem. I have no problem crapping all over Trump about this. I wish he wouldn't have talked about it so much. I think it got him more favor in the eyes of the world, but less favor in the eyes of true conservative people who want. You know, I appreciated the fact that he said not everybody's going to want the vaccine. I appreciated that he said that. I appreciated all that, but you can't know Robert F. Kennedy and be friends with him and hear the things that have been going on behind the scenes with vaccines for years, and then have a COVID one be brought forth that's completely different than the other ones and be done in 9-10 months, and then tout that as like a great thing, knowing that Merck and a lot of these other companies have 30% of their annual income comes from vaccines. They're big money makers. And if you thought Big Pharma was bad, Trump, which you obviously did, you tried to eliminate the middleman for us, and it successfully so for a couple of months. And if you know Big Pharma's like this, why did you endorse this? And a lot of conservatives are actually asking that question.
Well, I also think Trump knew, and again, I have the two biggest, or actually three, my three huge critiques when it comes to Trump. One, he surrounded himself around the swamp. He listened way too much to the swamp, which I'll give him a little bit of a pass because he didn't understand how DC worked. I'll give him that. He gets back in office in 2024 and he surrounds himself with the swamp again. He is going to have the MAGA movement down his neck. Number two, he let Fauci be in charge for way too long. The moment he knew Fauci and Dr. Birch was completely corrupt and lying after he saw the evidence, he should have kicked their asses out. And number three, the vaccine. I completely disagree. And again, I can't really knock him because he's not telling people you have to get it. He's just saying people should get it. And he also understands that the public, we do live in I would say at least for half the country, we live in a vaccinated world. And so people will not feel comfortable getting back to normal if they're not. Now, I'm not saying that justifies it, but for me, I'm not. Now, I want to get the audience involved real quick. If you are watching this, I want you to put a thumbs up if you're for the vaccine and you're going to get it, or put a thumbs down if you're not going to get it. I want to see what. All right, so, oh yeah, I'm this way. So if you're not going to get it, I want you to put a thumbs down. If you are going to get it, I want you to put a thumbs up, and I want to see what the response is for the people, because this is going to be interesting to see. We have 175 people on here. So far, we got 3. We got 4 no's.
I just posted a video in Brazil, like this man, he took the vaccine, and one of the governors was like forcing to take, and he made a test. He has less than 28% of anticorps. And he's like, that's nothing. He's like, that makes no sense. Why they talking about this this
Wow.
particular, he is a particular brand that he was talking about, but he's like, makes no sense. It's like, I can just drink water and be the same thing, because
100.
this is not gonna protect anybody.
Okay, we have, and I completely agree. We have 20 no's right now, 0 yeses, 21, 22.
So I'm going to tell you, so as Angel, you have lost someone to COVID. I have also lost my grandmother and my aunt, who both were in a nursing home in the state of Ohio. I truly think, and this is just my personal opinion, but I think this was a genocide on our elderly population.
I completely agree.
Our governors, guys, I'm going to tell you how it is. In the nursing homes, they do not receive adequate care to begin with. You start restricting visitors advocating for their care, they're going to have detrimental, life-threatening, and death from this outcome. There was no one advocating for my grandmother. There was no one advocating for my aunt. I was not even able to be on the property to see them. And you mean to tell me, and everybody knows, healthcare across the system, they're not getting adequate care. You mean to tell me that every single one of those fearful nurses was going in every room to check on them every hour? You mean to tell me that they were getting the best care that they possibly could? Wrong. No one was there to advocate. How many times do we go in nursing homes where people aren't turned? They're not turned and they get bed sores. And you mean to tell me with someone with their lungs filling up with fluid that they're going to get turned adequately when they have one nurse to sometimes 40, 50 patients? Wrong. The answer is wrong. And then they wanted to hide it. That's the thing. There was no transparency. You couldn't even go to look in the windows. You weren't even allowed on the property or you've been arrested. Why aren't we talking about this? And I'm going to be a huge advocate. I lost 2 of my family members who I love dearly to this virus. My grandma had late-term, Alzheimer's. My aunt was on 6 liters of oxygen baseline. She had COPD. Any virus would have knocked him out. Why aren't we talking about this? It's a genocide. There are Whitmer. We are talking about Cuomo.
Cuomo for sure.
Every single one of these governors who were literally under releasing the information about it should be held accountable, because this is genocide. And I've lost someone to COVID, but I also have lost a friend, 19 years old, who died 2 days after the J&J vaccine. No past medical history. Mom found him in his bed, dead. Facts.
My grandma passed away after the vaccine, and we're like,
but
she was fine.
Why aren't we listen,
Hold on, real quick. 2 days. Say that again, Angel. Your grandma passed away after 2 days of taking the vaccine.
No, that was him, his friend.
Oh, that was your friend.
2.
So you're 2 days after that was J&J.
J&J vaccine. Nope.
And then Angel, what about your grandma?
My grandma, she took the first shot. She was fine. She was about to take the second one, and she had a blood clot went to her heart. She passed away. And
guys,
in Europe, they stopped some vax there because older people were dying, because they already more they already.
What are the chances of all 4 of us? And it has to be happening so much more consistently than they're reporting, because this is obviously, I mean, come on. Everybody I know that's on Instagram that chats with me, I get messages all the time from people that tell me stuff like this.
I think, and one way that, if you guys want to see more stories, this is on Telegram. If you search COVID vaccine stories, these guys were on Instagram. They were up to 50K really quick, and then Instagram booted them. You can go on Telegram, search them, and every single day they update it with stories from all over the world. You see the picture of the person, their entire story. It is. I mean, guys, right there.
There's someone else here saying, "Oh, my grandpa got vaccinated and he got so much worse and passed away. Weeks later, he died."
Michaela.
And then my grandma's sister, last week, she passed away. Her brain stopped one side. They call AVC, something like that. And she passed away. We have so much other case that I've been listening, friends and that say stuff like that happen. So
wow, I mean, this is crazy. We got one question that came in. What do you think the ultimate goal of our government in China had when they let this outbreak happen?
What is the biggest that Joe Biden is pushing right now? Climate change. They say that we are the part of the climate change. Guys, he's literally telling you the only reason that we have this climate crisis is because we're overpopulating the earth. I mean, it's a no-brainer. To me, it is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
They want to kill people. That's it.
China doesn't care about their own people. They're like, oh, people died, 88,000, that's fine.
Yeah. Ross, what were you gonna say?
I think the United States of America is the last sheriff in the woods, and I don't mean the corrupt version of the government that's been doing all the stuff secretly with the CIA by toppling Libya and all these other things. I'm talking about the heart of what America is supposed to be, is the last actual sheriff left in the world. And there's Russia wants to take over Ukraine, China wants to take over Taiwan, Palestine wants to destroy Israel. 35 other countries want to destroy other countries.
Azerbaijan want to destroy Armenia. Is the only Christian country in there.
Wow,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, sure. I mean, anything.
You're right.
And so you've got all of these giant sections that are wanting to do evil things and willing to pay with these big corporations that run the entire globe on the oil economy and have a guaranteed customer rate, and big pharma that has a guaranteed customer rate that they can always keep going. They're sucking the life out of the populations, and basically a couple very rich families along with a couple very large country leaders have gotten together and have said, we have to strip the power away from what could be the last sheriff in the world so that we can accomplish all the things that we want to accomplish. Some of those being national goals, but I think a lot of those being the goals of what the Charles Schwab Economic Forum has been saying nonstop, which is that they basically are moving towards the one world government with more strict control where you own everything and are given enough to be happy still and useful to them.
That's why my wish is for us to unify people, is to come together. Like, politics is politics, but let's forget that for a second and think about the humans, the individuals.
I can only forget that for so long, though. Like, you can only be so stupid at, not you, but people.
I'm so into politics, but
people can only be so stupid to the point where they're willing to call their neighbor 4 years ago, their good friend, a racist and a Nazi.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can only be so stupid and me still willingly associate with you. If I know that you were a sheep that got mad at people for questioning the virus and masks and the vaccine, I don't know if I want to associate with you that much, because the next time when they tell you something stupid, you're the useful idiot still who's going to be like, oh, you're looking for people that won't take the vaccine? Yeah, my neighbor's that way. He's evil because you told me so. He's also racist.
Ignorance. And then they think who thinks different it is. I always try to understand why they feel a certain way, why they act a certain way, but I can only do so much too. Like, I try to help my friends, open their eyes, the people around me.
Well, so at which point,
Angel, sometimes I'm so stressed. Sorry, at some point I'm so stressed. I'm like, you know what? Those people had to get fucked.
Yeah.
Because I cannot be telling the same thing and showing facts and this and that. Right. But I'm trying.
So where's the point for you, Angel? Where do you feel like or I guess all of us, it's a good question to answer. Where's the point where you feel like it's worth trying to continue to reach to the other side? So what line does a person have to cross? Which boundary before you're like, all right, at this point, I'm not going to try to help you see anymore? Blake.
I think in the end, everybody wants the same. Like, I feel in the end, most of people, not everybody, wants the same. Like, good people with good hearts, even if you might think something, have some different thinkings, but not about Trump. I'm going to talk about Trump, about Biden.
Yeah,
totally. Life, like how you feel about your friends, your neighbor, what you want for the world. There's
but that side, Angel, is now saying that if you're white, you're evil. That's the same side you're talking about.
Hold on. So, and I agree with both you guys, because I do agree with Angel when it says that majority of people want the same thing.
Yes.
The issue is the loudest people are the minority, and they're controlling the narrative for everything. And that also includes the media. I'll get to you, Blake, 1 second. The politicians, when it comes to everything. So you have, but I mean, again, when it comes to this line, and I've said this a couple times over the last couple weeks, I'm done debating, like, for instance, Keith, the guy that was on 2 weeks ago where we did a debate, he messaged me and sent a bunch of stuff, and I literally messaged him like, bro, listen, I'm done debating with you or having these comments or these messages. And the reason why is because you're a Marxist and don't believe in God. And you literally want the America that I want is the complete opposite in every single way that what you want. And I can't even have the conversation with you because you don't believe in God. You believe in the socialism and communism. You believe that
Yeah,
people should
that
not.
for me, that's it. Like when
Exactly.
when it goes that far, I'm like, I want to hear
Right.
this
So
shit. Like,
those people that are probably, I don't know, 10, 15% of the nation, you can't, it's not even worth debating with them. And I like what you're saying, Angel. I agree that the majority of people in America in the middle, they do want the best for the country. The issue is, though, is conservatives, and we blame it on ourselves. Conservatives went to sleep. We let them take over the school boards. We let them take over the teachers' unions. We let them take over the commission, the election process. We let them take over everything on the local level, which is why we're in the crap hole that we're in now. And so that is where it's like, when it comes to the people in the middle, I'm all about having the conversation. But if you're on this far left, progressive socialism, communism, I don't even want to have the conversation with you because
yeah.
you need to read a damn book, and it's
I
called
have a
history.
friend that she's right now, Vanessa, that I introduced. She came from Venezuela. Like when people want to defend communism, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, go live there then, and then we talk about it.
Exactly. No, 100%. Blake.
So here's my thing. There comes to a point where you just keep talking and it's going to fall on deaf ears. It's not going to resonate with them. And here's one thing that I'm never going to apologize for is standing up for what is right and standing up for what is not evil. I'm never going to stop fighting for the fact that there are people that are hypersexualizing our children. I'm never going to sit here and have a discussion about sex trafficking. I'm never going to have a discussion about whether a Black Lives Matter, because I believe that Black Lives Matter. I don't need to acknowledge the fact that they do. They do. They just do. There's basic things that people are putting in people's heads that I can sit here and talk till I'm blue in the face. And it's not just the far. I know, Jordan, you said the 15, 20%. The other 30% that might be a little bit left in the middle are just as guilty, because it should be a bipartisan issue that children are our future, and we should not be hypersexualizing them. We should not be sex trafficking them. And we should not be in sitting there talking about all these other things that don't matter is where we're losing it. So we don't have this. We don't have the same common goals, because we're sitting here and we want the common good. We want everyone to get along. Yes, that sounds great and hunky dory, but it's not a reality. There are still people in this world, and
I think it's how Jordan say, it's not the majority of people. If you're talking with regular people, they don't think it's right sexualize the kids. I have a lot of liberal friends that think that that's insane.
The
like
left, I can speak from the LGBT community, is hypersexualizing our children, which represents the left, which represents the Democrats, and they're pushing this agenda. So
what I would say, though, is that I agree with you, Blake, because I mean, I wanted to talk about Blue's Clues. We also what happened with Blue's Clues. I mean, we see what they're doing with critical race theory. We see that we have drag queens teaching our children. I mean, I am 100% in. I think the difference of the one perspective that we're seeing things a little bit different is that the people that in the middle, I look at them more as sleeping lions than sheep. They're more like they're asleep right now and they need to wake up. And when someone speaks some truth, they'll actually wake up. Where if you're at a place where you're just long gone, it's like, no, this is what from the country. Here's they're watching the video, they're reading Fauci's emails, and they're still saying, no, Fauci's right. Yeah, bye. Like, don't waste your time with them. You can't waste their time. But I do believe that there's people that we get the messages every single week, every single day, where it's like, hey, I watched this live with you today. Thank you so much. I never realized this. Or thank you so much. You red pilled my husband tonight. Your show did this. Your show. And so again, I'm with you 100% on everything that you're saying. I think the difference is that there are people that are victims to the media's propaganda, and they're victims to these social justice movements like Black Lives Matter, and they've become victims where they're asleep. And a great example is my good friend JD, who was, JD, James Davis Angel, the videographer. Yeah. And yeah. JD was, when Trump won in 2016, he was scared to death. He believed the whole thing. And he was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do as a black man? Then he started realizing I spent some time with him for a couple of weeks, and boom, he completely woke up. He's all in on Trump. But again, he was asleep. and he woke up from, and so that's where I think is the main thing. There is still hope for a majority of the people in America. I do believe that. What's scary is what you're saying, Blake, which is so true, is that we have an entire generation right now being trained from a kid, from Blue's Clues to Sesame Street to their schools. They're being taught that critical race theory. We're being taught by drag queens on Blue's Clues, and they're teaching. They're literally forced. They're telling people that, oh my gosh, you're a girl and you like to play basketball. You must be a boy.
Well, at some point, this is going to have to come back to actual morals. And what I mean by morals is, where do morals come from? If you're an atheist, then you don't really have reasons to be moral, except that the world won't be totally shitty if you happen to have kids. You'll have a chance if that matters to you. But you're dead. What the hell does legacy matter if that's all there is? So there has to be some idea of God as a reason, of beacon of morality that people should strive to attain to or whatever. And that is where we actually do have a separation from people that are on the left, because it seems that conservatives are willing to admit that there seems to be some connection between morality and this thing that people call God. And the left goes, it doesn't exist. We can twist it, and morality is what we say it is. There seems to be a separation.
They get people confused about God and religion. And that's so messed up, because you don't have to be a religious people. You don't have to have a religion to believe in God and have a guidance in your life. You know, because a lot of religions was made to control people too. So that is where they get people fucked up too. And people hate, that's why I'm not this, because you guys. Because you guys, you're Christian. Like I'm like, but I say God. I didn't say Christianity.
No.
I didn't say
and I mean,
I'm like, I'm talking
I would
God,
say the American ideal obviously was formed by Judeo-Christian principles. So when I say moral complex, I'm mainly talking about that particular side of it, because it seems to be a consistent theme. Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama had some good sayings. Buddha did. He had some good things that he said. But the beacon of fear that people have to not want to be in the process of committing sin is what has kept men in this country from doing really bad things for the last 350 years. I don't think we should be so smart to throw that away, and I don't think the left agrees with that as much.
I agree. Blake, you have final thoughts on this last topic?
I don't know. It's confusing, because you want to fight for people. At the end of the day, you can talk to your blue in the face, but it's going to be a switch in their mind that's going to set it off. It's a personal choice to realize that you're in the dark. It's a personal choice. I mean, at this point, I'm not saying that everyone's a lost soul, but it's going to be a personal choice whether you want to be ignorant or if you're going to seek truth. And that's not something that we can just force people to do. They either want to do it or they don't. And I know we all have the same goal. We want good. But my definition of good is obviously not the same as your three's good. All of our goods are different, but what is guiding their moral? I think this is what you were saying in regards to your moral compass. My good is, having people not kill unborn babies. My good is that we wouldn't push the LGBTQ agenda down people's throats. Those are the freedom of choice. So
real quick, I mean, you as a gay man,
yeah.
Why do you have a different perspective when it comes to the LGBTQ, Pride Month? Because obviously, I mean, the movement felt like they didn't need a day; they needed a whole damn month. So, I mean, why do you see this something different? You as a gay man.
So, as a gay man, it's not my personality. My name is Blake. I have many facets to me. I am a hardworking. I'm a nurse. I'm a conservative. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm an uncle. I'm so many things, and my sexuality is not going to define me.
Good, Blake.
I don't want people to look at me and think, oh, he's gay. I want people to look at me and be like, he's an American, because all of our little differences set us apart in a positive way. And people keep wanting to hone in on all these little things that make us different. But it's the things that are different that make us American. And why do we keep trying to find these little subsets to divide each other? Well, you're lower class, you're middle class, you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're this. No, I'm an American. I'm first and foremost a Christian, but I'm an American. And I want to be perceived as that. And I don't want these little things to divide me. So I think when you push that agenda down people's throats, LGBTQ, we know you're gay. We get it. Great. And I'm proud to be gay. But I don't want it to become my personality. because I'm more than just this little facet, because it's just such a small little thing of my life. And why these people in this country want to make it the only thing about their life. And that's why I have a problem with the LGBTQ agenda. And I also don't think that we should be pushing that down kids' throats, because it should be a personal choice if they, as they grow older and they find themselves. It shouldn't be something that you're shown every day. If you start to show someone something every day, they're going to start questioning something that they never would have even thought of unless it was put right in front of their face. So I don't think anybody in these schools, I know critical race theory is awful, but I also don't think that these kindergarten teachers should be teaching 5- and 6-year-olds how to masturbate, which is actually happening.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with the LGBT community, is that you're pushing a toxic, not to even go into the details, that they don't believe in monogamy. They don't believe in any of these things. And it's just such a toxic, you have to be and look a certain way. You can't be overweight, or you're too skinny, or you're not gay enough. You don't get your nails done. I just want to be me. And
Right.
I just an American. I don't want to have the alphabet soup labeled on me. Just let me be me, let me be Blake, and let me love the country I live in. Period.
Blake, that you could not have answered that better. I mean, and that honestly helps me, because I even try to see, like, how do conservatives, see it. Conservative Anthony is a good friend of mine, and I've seen his videos, and he says the exact same thing. He hates the parades. He hates it. I'm like, I've always tried to see,
and it's not that I'm not proud of who I am. It's just I don't want to be treated any differently than you guys. I don't want to be. Why? I don't get it. I don't know why you would want to be like that.
Yeah, that's so good.
And people will tell me, well, you're gay, you're oppressed. And when left liberals tell me that I'm gay and oppressed, I'm like, sorry to swear, but I'm like, bitch, you think that I'm not as worthy as you? I'm worthy. I am so much worth. I am worthy. I don't need you to tell me that I'm oppressed, because I'm not oppressed.
Especially in the United States, you guys have all the rights. If it was like in Palestine that people get killed for being right.
We live in the best country in the world. Period.
Literally.
The gays in America are not oppressed. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go to Qatar. Go to the Middle East. Go to anywhere in Africa. Go to China and let me know how it feels to be oppressed gay man in America. You're not.
Agree. All right. So real quick, man, that was a great ending. Real quick, we're gonna do rapid fire questions in 5 minutes, because we got a lot. Let's do, and literally one person will answer each. Someone just raise their hand and you answer it. Do you guys? Here's the first question. Do you guys think vax shed is real?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Next one.
Yes. Here, I'm going to say this. Yes, Aaron and DC Drano had a thing going where they were talking about people who were around people who had vaccines, and there was thousands of people saying that they all got their menstrual cycle when their spouse or significant other got the vaccine within days. And it was it was in some cases a full 16 or 17 days off cycle.
There's an echo.
Yeah, there's a quick little echo. Okay, next question. Yeah, there is an echo though. Next question. Do you think there is a chip in the vax?
No.
No. All right. Yeah,
It's
there is an echo.
Sitting on something, because I keep going back up.
Check. Still there. All right. We're almost done anyways, though. Let's see what this says. I'm in Australia, in crazy town here. We can't leave our stores. Do you think international travel will come back with the jab?
International.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Do you think you'll be able to travel internationally if you don't get one?
No.
They already forcing. I got emails from my agents that I was so pissed about.
Really?
Yeah, saying that people to be booked for jobs, management is already saying they just gonna book dancers with vaccine. I'm like,
yeah. This person right here says, I just heard today that the vaccine will be mandatory to travel outside the country. Is this true? I guess so. Here we go. Here's another one. Do immigrants vote more Democrat or Republican? I'll answer that. Illegal immigrants normally tend to go Republican. Illegal immigrants probably tend to go Democrat. Would you guys agree or disagree?
Yeah.
I feel like it takes time for them to get the realization of because immigrants typically from Central and South America have conservative values. at heart. So once they realize that, then they tend to go Republican. Hence the Miami-Dade shift in Florida.
Ooh, very, very good. This is an interesting one. I don't know this question. I've never heard about it. Are you concerned that the Chinese government just paid the Vatican $2 billion?
Yes, I'm learning about it right now and am concerned.
Dude, Ross, for some reason I knew that you would know this.
You know the Pope is fucking communist, right? My dad is because my dad is Catholic. I grew up Catholic, but I'm Christian now. But my dad, I was like, I told you, it's super crazy.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Has to be some shady shit because they are not about the faith, dude. It must be for some other nefarious purpose because China ain't paying the Pope jack.
China wasn't helping people that have Jesus in their walls. First of all, in this pandemic, like they telling people to take, they block. I read that they block Bible's app there.
That's so crazy. We'll do 2 more questions. The second to last one. Do you think schools will start requiring the vaccine for enrollment? I think depending on the state that you live in.
Correct.
Florida, it's not happening. You know, if you're in a red state, that's why Angel, if you're in the entertainment industry, you can't. But if you have a family and you're having children, get the hell out of a blue state like California, New York. I do miss the weather, though. I really do. And then the second to last one, something just said the exact same thing. Fauci linked to the Vatican?
Probably.
They all together. Can you imagine when we actually see the whole truth? When God shows all the truth and we're like, what the fuck?
Listen, I'm going to say one thing. For all of you Christians out there in the Bible, it says plagues. It doesn't say plague. So you better be ready. If you believe that.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
This is a spiritual war. If people didn't realize yet,
I agree.
It's not.
I agree. That's a good point.
That's the people that I say we want saved. We want like to see the truth because they not seeing the big picture. Because when they start seeing the big picture and what's really going on, they will understand like, okay.
Right. So here's the thing. God tells us to be
30 seconds, so go for it.
God tells us to be disciples, and so I'm going to continue to fight. But at the same time, I know where my peace lies, so I'm good. I wake up every day, not stressed. I'm blessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. That's such a good point to end on. Let's all remember that the battles that we fight, our anxiety, our stress, everything, it's such a good point, Angel and Blake. We are fighting battles that are spiritual. We really are, and that's why it's so important. In the morning, wake up, spend 2 minutes in prayer. Like, really, it works. Meditate on. I mean, for me, the way I do it, I meditate on Jesus. I read a chapter of the Bible. I like, if you study the character of Jesus, he's a good. Even if you're an atheist, like if you don't believe in Jesus, but he's like one of the best people to ever read about. His character, he was humble. He was a servant. That he was an incredible human being. And when you do that, you'll feel that your anxiety and everything start to fall. 2 quick things. Number 1, if you click the arrow at the top, there's a little down arrow. You click on that, a drop-down window is going to happen. Follow all 3 of these. Follow all of us. Ross, Angel. Angel's an incredible dancer. She dances with Snoop Dogg. She dances with who else have you danced with?
Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West.
Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar. Angel's doing it. She's living in LA. She's bold. She's speaking truth. And that's why I love Angel. She's follow her. Blake has an incredible organization. He's also a nurse. His content's incredible. You guys know Ross the Boss. Make sure you follow Ross if you guys aren't already. And then again, as well, my personal Instagram, which is also in the Speak Truth Without Your bio, is Jordan Sarmo. You can catch me there. Guys, again, thank you so much for